Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button straight away to get up to my weekly updates on YouTube and all that good stuff. Make sure you follow my Instagrams as well. And today we're going to be talking about why I prefer, support and resistance instead of, swing and trade, the big long-term, big swing holding trades, and why I prefer different things. And yeah, so I'm going to be breaking it down on the charts on how, why I like keeping my trades short and snappy, and why, I have the runners running instead of just risking the whole thing. I like a break even quite a lot. Yeah, so I'll go through a couple of the tips right now. So the first reason why I don't really like the big swing trades when you have quite a big stop loss come out, and when you enter a trade, you could be in that trade for hours. And personally for me, the more time, this is what I think, the more time you are in the market, the more time, you can really, news events could really skew your graphs and your charts and your whole analysis. They can skew it up very easily. If one person says one thing bad or good about your currency pair that you're trading, it could be completely skewed. The only way I'd want to have a long-term trade is when it's at break even, because there's no risk involved. So that's why I go for the the break even approach a lot more better than swinging the trade and just hoping it keeps on going. Because what if halfway through your trade you're doing well, you're 20-30 pips, you haven't took any profits yet because that's how you swing, and a random news event comes out which was not planned, and it skyrockets and hits your stop loss. That means you had a profitable trade and 30 pips nicely, and it went to your negative. So that's one of the reasons why I only like. Now the second tip is also, if you look at the charts, most swing traders look a lot about risk to reward, don't they? They like a big risk to reward. It means they can do that trade a lot of times and they only have to get it once out of 5 times to break even, etc. Which makes sense, I do get that. But the problem is that they're looking more about the risk to reward instead of the percentage of winnings that they're doing. For example, me, I know that I have quite a high win rate, 70-80% on most trades, which means that my risk to reward doesn't have to be that good, because I know I'm going to win at most times. I can just replicate that every time. Now, the problem with that I've seen with people who are doing risk to reward trades, big swings, is they don't want to take any profits before it hits their full 2-to-1 or 3-to-1. And that also scares me. It's a bit like, oh, it's not good enough to do that. Like, when are you going to get out of this trade if it starts turning your wrong way and stuff like that? Whereas me, I can focus on just these exact movements that are coming into the market and how I can get these, every single day and have with really high probability rating to really exceed my trading portfolio. And with a swing trade, obviously, you're clearly having, well, if you're risking properly, you're going to have a bigger stop loss, and you have 30 pip, 40 pip stop loss. And that means, if you're risking properly, that you should have a very smaller lot size than me, because I only have a 10 pip, 8 pip stop loss. Which means, if you're risking properly, that you're going to have to get that 2-1 to get the full benefit, whereas I can happily and confidently use that risk in a very short period, because that's how I trade. And it also means I'm in the market for a lot quicker, I'm in and out, snap, and I can get the full 2%, whereas you have to wait a lot longer, and you might actually over risk, because you're like, oh well, it's never going to hit my 40 pip stop loss, so I'll boost up the percentage and it'll make loads. And actually it's really not the way to do it. So that's why I like having the stop loss a lot shorter, so I can have a bigger lot size. That's how it kind of works. Whereas if you're swing trading, you'd have 40-50 pip stop, 30 pip stop. That's huge. So it means you'll be using a lot lower lot size than me. And the final point is, which I kind of talked about before, is so when I'm in a trade and it's going really well and it's hit my 10 pips or whatever next zone, and I take some profits, great stuff. Now, then I'm going to take off the 80%, but the 20% I'm going to leave running, and this can actually turn into a swing, but a risk-free swing. And I'll show you an example which happened last week in GJ, which is really, really good. I'll show you the whole trade. And it basically means that you're in a swing trade which people would have been risking money on, and yours is risk-free completely, and you're still in that long-term trade, but you've also just took your really, really good 10 pips on a good 2% risk. So that's why I prefer that, because yeah, I don't have to risk anything and I'm still in the same trade as swing traders, but I have zero risk. And the whole thing which I've learned from most really good traders, especially Ted, is always talks about, you know, the best trade to be in is a risk-free trade. A risk-free trade and zero drawdown, that's basically it. And if you can get that, you're sorted basically. And yeah, that's the reasons why I prefer using, you know, day trading, getting in those little tiny things every 15-30 minutes. Really helps to boost my account compared to swing trading. It's very long term, it's very hard with the news events, especially at the moment. Like if you're in the markets 3 hours, Boris could say one thing and your analysis is screwed. Doesn't matter how good your chart work is, if news comes out, it's gone. So that's kind of how I kind of leave it. So yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I'm gonna go show you now the GJ trade. I want to keep these short and snappy videos to keep you know, interaction on my YouTube. But yeah, I'll show you the GJ trade right now. So guys, I'm gonna go show you this move right now. So let's just clear everything. Beautiful. So this is trading view if anyone doesn't know it. And so this is 4th of Jan, so this is a Monday. And let's start. So we start at 7 AM. Where is it? Here, yeah. So you can see that, you know, we're ranging a bit before pre-London, the Asian session normally does. And then you can see we had a clear kind of support there and a clear like resistance, like I would say up here. So we're kind of trading this zone here. We get a nice close below here, this wick, and now we start falling. Beautiful. We start falling. Now, I think I got in about here on that wick up, and then when we started falling, even better. So if you do shorts from here with quite a tight stop, and we're like here, and we have the stop loss here. So I only had a 12-13 pip stop, and the gains, well, I look left and I go, right, well, this is the first zone, I can take some profits, and then the rest I can just run, and we could end up all the way down here. So that's great. So now, you know, my trade's going well. I get to the next zone, which I can draw here in 15 seconds. Here's the next zone. So you can see it hits my TP there, beautiful. And I think that's Jesus, that's a huge, it's a huge move. But yeah, I think I took profits here. So let's have a look. Here's another kind of resistance. So yeah, I got about 20 pips there, which is great, 20 pips. Then I put my stops to break even. Now, as you can see here, 8 AM candles and stuff, we seem to arrange, but then we started pushing further. I took some more profits here because we hit this level. And now I've only got a little tiny bit running. We come back up, we nearly touch my stop, my break even, because now I'm at break even. But then it continues, and to the end where we started resting, I took profits here. So you can see that one movement, you can see here, I did my normal trading, but I actually got into kind of a swing all the way down here. And you can see that this zone here, if we measure, is, yeah, so 100 pips. So I actually got the 100 pip swing move from only risking, you know, 12 pips. And I got my TPs down here, and that's how it works. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll come back on 1 second. So yeah guys, hope you enjoyed that, and it was really good fun. Yeah, so I'm just gonna make these little videos every so often for people on YouTube. But yeah, make sure you stay tuned, because I'm gonna be putting lots of stuff on. I've got some really cool update which I'm doing at the moment. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff, and then follow me on Instagram as well. I'm posting there lots more than here. But yeah, I'm gonna get my YouTube all going, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video in a bit.